All right, Taurus, welcome to your October of 2015 astrology forecast. This is, of course, for Sidereal Astrology. If you're new to this form, do check the description down below because your sign might be different. So, Taurus, let's go and have a look at what we have this month. It's a tense month, and it's a very transformative month. A lot of aspects from Pluto. We got a lot of squares going on, a T-square, as you can see here with the once the moon goes over there. But there's a lot of this squaring kind of energy, and that's kind of the backdrop, though. There's other things going on that are much more, how do you say, general and more as an overall theme to the energy, because this square stuff has been already going on with Saturn. These oppositions have already been going on between the 10th house for you in the 4th house. So it's a lot of continued themes, but now we do have some more, how would you say, transformative aspects. Pluto is going to be making some trines up to these positions, and there's more energy with Neptune and a little bit with Uranus. So let's go ahead and have a look. On the 1st through the 11th, I'm going to break this up into two halves. Let's first look at the first half of the month and then the second, because the month's kind of split up that way. Saturn is sextiling up to your north node in the 5th house. So for the past 2 years, your life path has been to develop your self-expression, your creativity, entrepreneurship for some of you. And so now Saturn is sextiling up to this, which is signifying that you guys have a support for a lot of these things this month. There's an opening for it. In fact, you're going to have a new moon here in the 5th house. There's new beginnings around creativity or romance or self-expression, whatever it might be for you, entrepreneurship. And so that's what's fueling all of this, I feel like. So this first couple weeks, self-expression, put energy into that. It's a gateway. It's an opening for that. It's been Saturn who is now going to go into your 7th house. Now, Saturn's been in your 6th, so for the past couple of years, you guys should have been working very hard at the routine or at work or in the daily sphere of things. Now, Saturn goes into the 7th, which is more about relationships and one-on-one connections. Now, Saturn was already here at the early part of this year, but now he went retrograde. Now he's going back in, and he'll be here for roughly the next 2 years for you guys. So this is all about maturity. This is about discipline. This is about long-term elements of your relationship, so that all of your relationships are much more solid or much more solidified. And this might mean romantic, but it's all kinds of relationships. And that's the nature of Saturn, and it's actually a great spot for Saturn. A lot of you are going to be noticing too that if you've been starting new projects or if you've been working on new things, especially with career, over the past 7 years, within that sphere, then Saturn here is where you start to become more recognized for what you're doing. And as Saturn makes his way to the top of the chart, it's the culminating point of a lot of those career foundations that you laid during the past 7 years. So more recognition, or at least maybe, things just starting to move forward for you even more so with the big picture, long-term accomplishments in life. So that's all in support there, but the big energy too is really maybe even sometimes facing fears and doing the more grounded thing when it comes to those one-on-one connections. Now, with that being said, this early part as well has Venus going over that north node for the 3rd time. So there's been a lot of this life path lesson theme over the past couple months in regards to your self-expression. So now Mercury going retrograde it's going to go over that north node at the same time. Mercury goes direct. Mercury's going direct on the 9th, actually. Let me go and fast forward. So Mercury passes over and gets right past that north node and then goes station direct and over again. So there is some life path stuff shifting for all of us. And for you, it's, again, more passion, more enjoyment in your life, learning more about your self-expression. All of that stuff you've probably been reflecting on with Mercury retrograde for the past few weeks. So now over the north node is about putting energy into it, learning, growing, and expanding. In regards to that, we're going to have a new moon here as well, and the sun's already here, shining that light on your 5th house, even more, creating even more awareness of the things that you are excited about in life and how to implement that in general. So that's going to be your 5th house, and that's really the first half of the month. Also, this first half is we have Mars opposing up to Neptune, which is nothing new. We've had a lot of this opposition energy from Neptune, which has been all of this 4th house energy. You had the solar eclipse in your 4th house. This is continuing this month. Once you have, so what's happening is that with this solar eclipse, you guys are forming new, sort of a new environment with your home or with your family or with your emotional body. And so these new beginnings are now becoming much more passionate. They're starting to become much more out into the open, which is the 5th house of expressing it. Because once we have a good anchor in our emotional body or at home and stuff, then we're able to, enjoy life more, which is the 5th house. And that's what's being seen here from all this activity in your 4th, then going into your 5th like that. So anyways, with all this 4th house activity, if you should be very motivated, quite inspired, I would say, with the 4th house thing. So just remember that there is that balance between personal life and then the career life, because the career stuff is about uncertainty for you right now at the moment in a good way, of how you can, relax into the unknowingness about career, where it's headed, where you're going. This is not just career; it's everything big picture in your life. And so that's been an ongoing theme, and that's going to continue to be the case. Your ambitions and your drives, for all of us to a degree. If you don't know exactly what's going on, that's just completely normal with this kind of transit. It's about learning the lessons and having the experiences that there are things larger than self. Now, Mars does naturally rule your 7th and your 12th house, so this could very well be with relationships. If you guys are having a little bit uncertainty or haze around the one-on-one connection side of things, and this could be associated with that Saturn going in there too. Maybe there's something shifting for you personally, depending on your individual chart. But compassion, faith, trust, all those energies very supportive for you, and making sure you are getting that rest and relaxation, since Neptune does rule that 12th house of yours. Excuse me, it's not that Neptune does. Mars rules that 12th house of yours. So that's that opposition, and then from the 6th to the 16th, and this reminds me too that the Sun will be squaring up to Pluto this first week of the month as well. So all of this self-expression stuff, be patient at it, and find that way to channel the truth into it. Because Pluto is saying, look, there's some truths, there's some deeper truths, which has been Pluto in your 8th house. You guys are understanding the depths of life very much over the past many years. And so now there's this constructive energy. When you express yourself, it's about focusing on being open, raw, truthful, honest, and deep, and talking about the truth of the matter, whether it's collective, personal, or whatever. And that might just be something you need to bring extra attention to with that square energy, but it can be very constructive for all this life path stuff shifting for your self-expression. Now, Jupiter trines up to Pluto. So this is probably the most general, and in the horoscope, in the general horoscopes, this is much more applicable for most of you. The more general, the more applicable. Jupiter is going to be trining up to Pluto. So like I was saying, Pluto is supporting a lot of this energy down here in your 4th. So if you guys have seen opportunities about over the past 6 months to open your horizons with your home or with your family, or just feeling optimistic about it, now Pluto supports that. And you have a lot of support now with the emotional body and the deeper aspects of life. That's Pluto from the 8th house. So this could be powerful change too. So whatever it is, could be a new opportunity, could be a sudden opportunity, could be something where you can make some positive change now this month with your 4th house. And that's certainly seen from all this trining from Pluto, because Pluto is about restructuring, rechanging, getting rid of something old and creating something new. Now from the 10th and the 11th, Venus does square up to Saturn. So this is important for you, Taurans, since we are talking about your ruler here. So relationship stuff. I mean, this is, and this is also on some level too, financial stuff, but really relationship stuff. And it's just, there's a lot of this, just be patient, take it easy, take it slow, one step at a time. Long term is the energy here. Saturn, like I said, the lessons you learn with your one-on-one connections is going to span over the next 2 years. So you're just now coming into it. It's new there. Now, Venus, of course, is your ruler. So you guys might be feeling like, a little bit like on the restriction in terms of that, expression and things like that. But again, it's about working hard on that. And I think it's working hard on your one-on-one connections this month. Now, Venus does also rule your 6th house. So I think you guys will be, to some degree, maybe hashing out these final things involving your routine this month as well. So hard work is also on the table. Now, we have this new moon, and this new moon is in your 5th house. And the 5th house, again, passion, creativity, is what's new. And this is taking, again, the emotional stuff from the solar eclipse or the home and family. And now there's something new shaping up about how you create, how you express yourself, how you share your gift with others and share yourself with others. And so that's what it's signifying now. It's very transformative new moon for, compared to a typical new moon, because it's going to be squaring up to Pluto, as you can see here, and opposing up to Uranus, because this Pluto square is still, within orb. So this is transformation and it's change, and there's a revolution about how you're expressing yourself this month. And I think a lot of you just might be like, just ready to, this has been a theme you guys have been working on for the past few years with this Uranus-Pluto activity. But here with your 5th house, it's stepping into it and just being like, okay, this is my passion, or this is what I'm excited about. And you're having to just do that, work on it, and constructively implement it. So it's not easy, but it doesn't have to be difficult, but it is something that is a challenge, a healthy challenge of saying, okay, this is what I'm passionate about, sharing it, expressing it, putting it out there. And you'll find all of that very freeing and very transformative with Pluto. From the 14th to the 19th, we got Mars trining up to that Pluto. Okay, so Pluto's actually well aspected this month, all things being considered. Mars, so now we shift in the second half of the month, and things start to look a little bit different. Mars trines up to that Pluto. So we all should be feeling quite motivated, and here's where you could be certainly quite inspired and motivated to make change in the relationship sphere. This is, again, all relationships, how you interact with others, your one-on-one connections, maybe in that more emotional way, which is the 8th and the 4th house, and spiritual change, stepping into the power to connect to the now moment and connect to God or Creator and have that peace and presence in what you're involved with. All of that is very supportive for you to make changes there in those areas. Now, when that happens, Mars is going to be going over Jupiter the second half of the month. So we should all be feeling quite motivated, and this is new opportunities here with relationships. Some of you might be meeting some new people or a new person. This is also your 12th house, so you should be feeling quite expansive, getting that alone time, that rest and relaxation that is so important in life. And so nice opportunities there, quite motivating for all of us, but specifically around the relationship sphere for you. And that's a big contrast to earlier when Saturn was squaring up to Venus exact, and Saturn just recently going into your 7th house. I mean, it's still in the air, but there's this sort of outlook, this future that you see here with that. That's quite positive. Now, from the 16th and 17th, Venus does oppose up to Neptune. Again, nothing new here. This is actually her 3rd transit of doing this because she was retrograde. So, again, balancing domestic life with your work life, having faith and trust in both, that everything is unfolding and how it's meant to. And you'll find, especially with the routine stuff, getting that rest and relaxation is a big theme for you. Now, from the 25th, around the 25th, we've got Venus trining up to Pluto. So let me go and fast forward here because it's quite the jump. 25th, Venus trines Pluto. So again, supportive energy there with the routine, with yourself actually. By the end of the month, you guys should be feeling quite transformed, or at least quite powerful in both how you express yourself and also just how you assert yourself. There's a big support here. And there's a lot of stuff you've learned since your ruler was retrograde about who you are, about how you assert yourself last month. And so now the energy is starting to move forward, and Venus is in full speed. So, the energy levels you're going to know starting to improve over the coming months as well, now that the Sun and Mars are making their way up in the chart. Your ruler is direct this month, and by the end of the month, you should be feeling quite like you can communicate the truth of the matter, and you can communicate about who you are in a very powerful way. Mercury opposes up to Uranus. Okay, so there is this balancing this month also, and this is going to be ongoing throughout the month in terms of this balancing point of your self-expression and giving. There's a lot of changes happening in the group sphere, your collective sphere, how you give, how you contribute to causes larger than self. That's been an ongoing theme of change for you and releasing old energies with that. And so it's going to be supporting the self-expression this month. So see how you can release some old energy, some old concepts about groups or organizations or your ideals, which will then facilitate a much greater understanding about how you express yourself this month. But it's really balancing both, seeing how you can, what's important to your passion is important to what the world needs and to what the group and community needs, and honoring your true self there. That's what it's all about. It's about being your true self in your group interactions. Now, Venus conjoins up to Jupiter for the third and final time here in your fourth house. So there is more opportunities unfolding about home and family, like I was saying, but especially for you Taurans in general, because it's your ruler. So you guys should be feeling quite optimistic, quite, like you're able to see the future. There's a lot of possibilities ahead, and maybe, something new with you, just feeling more adventurous. And some of you might be going on an adventure or something like that this month. So that's at the end of the month. And it's all relating to the sphere of home, family, past, and roots. And you'll notice that feeling quite good. And then we have the full moon on the 27th, which is the culminating points of this month. And this is going to be in regards to your 12th house. So it's all about seeing, the deeper aspects of self, of spirituality, of that rest and relaxation, the importance of that, and balancing all of that with the daily sphere of things, so that you can take care of all these activities, which is going to start to become very active for you in the coming months when all these fast-moving planets go into your sixth. But it could be a very busy month anyways. It probably is, actually, with Mercury here, the sun here, really activating that, fifth house. But this opposition does involve the sixth. So there is this energy. Whenever there's energy in the 12th, it involves energy in the sixth. So maybe it's not completely busy for you guys. It depends on your personal chart. I was rephrasing that because it's your fifth house. However, that rest and relaxation can go a long ways, especially with all of this energy that you guys are passionate about. So there's a lot of excitement probably, or something, or you guys are creating things and you're really solidifying those, because for you it's very grounded. It's all Virgo energy. Solidifying those creations, but remembering to get that rest, relaxation, and there's a spiritual illumination happening at the end of the month, which can facilitate that quite strongly. And then Venus does conjoin up to Mars, so you guys are quite motivated. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of things probably that you guys can put energy into, whether it's probably relationship related, but again, all in that sphere of home, family, past, and roots. So you can see it's really split up into two halves. The first half of the month is a lot of that opposition energy and patience with Saturn, but then by the second half of the month, things start to unfold. And especially by the end, you guys are probably feeling quite adventurous, quite spirited, and quite motivated, especially going into November with your ruler conjuncting up to Mars. So Taurus, have a great month. If you guys have any questions, please do let me know. Thanks for watching. If you'd like a personal reading, do click the link down on the bottom of the page, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.